Hey, welcome to another episode of Ice Grip Garage. I'm here at the Minneapolis airport. A subscriber named Ken reached out to me and said, "Hey Derek, how'd you like to get my 1969 Chevelle running for me?" And of course I immediately said, "Yep." Feller bought her on the interwebs and he's never seen it. I guess that makes two of us. And of course it hasn't run in 20 years. Great. I checked a bag full of miscellaneous tools. About an 86.7% chance that doesn't make it. But I do have my backpack here. I got a couple pairs of socks, going to town shirt, toothbrush, and a Waylon Jennings tape. That seems like plenty. I'm going to jump on this plane here and fly from Minnesota to Pennsylvania, try to get this car running, then drive 500 miles to Kentucky and deliver it back to Ken, then get on another plane and shoot back home to Minnesota. This should be easy. I mean, there's a lot of room for error here. No, there's not. A guy just landed in Pittsburgh. This place is a town of ghosts. I've only seen a couple people. Gotta go see if my tools made it. Probably not. And then I rented like a Yugo or something. Then I have about a 2-hour drive to Altoona? Altoona. I don't know. Something Tuna. It's a town 2 hours from here. Well, a guy made her. Some alleyway in small town central Pennsylvania, and that right there is what looks to be a really nice 69 Chevelle. Guy's actually keeping his distance here because she's got some shine on it, and quite frankly I'm getting the anxieties already. How do you even work on them when they're so shiny? But anyway, a lot of you fellers are probably thinking, must be something special going on here if you went all the way to Pennsylvania just to get a car running, especially if it's not even yours. But not really. Every car's got a story to tell. Every single one. And so does this one. It was Grandma's car. She's no longer with us, unfortunately. And the grandson, he's tired of it sitting here just rotting, quite frankly. And he wants to see it go to good use and go to a good home. And that's where Ken, the new owner, comes in, and myself. I'm going to get this thing running, put some shine on it, hopefully take them for one last spin, then get her delivered to the new owner so she could be enjoyed again. What do you put rugs over the side of it, or how do you even lean on them? Guy's getting pretty spoiled on this one. I got electricity, I got digital controls. I got this nice little lounge area in the back. I can just hang out, do whatever I want to do. And the car here, she's even got keys. I mean, I don't want to knock on balsa, but this might be pretty easy. It's a 307 car. Not sure what trans yet. We'll figure that out in a minute. She's been painted on. I think it's had quarters, some other work, and then was pretty heavily maintenanced. But I was told it was parked in '03, and it's been sitting here since. Let's see what the plate says. I think they got inspection stickers in this state too. Yep, so '03. It's been sitting. Nice thing is it's up on this concrete, so that's always nice. Way better than sitting in the weeds or that grass. Let's get this cover off and see what she looks like. Elvis's hairbrush. This is really nice. This looks like medium blue metallic, I think they called it, which is like paint code 52? 53. I don't know. It's in the 50s, 55, somewhere in there. Oh, here's a annual windshield sticker. I think that's a state thing, not a park pass. That says '03. We got a black vinyl on her. And that looks to be in really good shape so far. This is in good condition. The hind ender is looking good too. I was pretty surprised. I didn't think there'd be rust issues out here, but everyone's saying they salt them up out here just as bad as Minnesota. But this thing was obviously really cared for, and she's been under the old constructions. I mean, there's not any rust evident so far. The new owner this morning did put different tires and wheels on it because the other ones were just completely shot. I had zero chance of driving on them. But I've never really dug into her yet. This top looks really good shape. Back here looks great. Chrome on the bumpers maybe needs a little bit of loving, but that's a nice looking car. Door panels look brand new. No carpet. A seat bolt. Floors are in it. Here you can see the quarter replacement or skin. Probably, you know, shooting down right there. Back of the seat is, oh, there is the bottom's in there. Guy might be able just to snip that back there. Base Malibu, 78,000 miles. She's got tunes in her. She's the deluxe model. Pretty nice overall. Couple cracks in the dash, but not bad. Guy always likes to start in the body carrier. It just tells you so much about the rig, especially if there's parts missing and what have you. Nothing. I got a spare. I just never seen the lack of weight reduction. She's had a replacement pan put in her, but nothing. Oh, she might be full quarters actually. Otherwise you usually see that seam running down here. Oh, there it is up there. That's that seam I was talking about. So she was skinned on both sides. So she's had quarters, trunk, obviously paint. Nice car. No engine parts, that's always a good sign. If there could just be a block in here, you know, with heads on it, the rest I'll figure out, but I need at least that. Please, please, please. What was that now? Oh, thank goodness. We've got originalage. I mean, this is looking pretty good. Guy doesn't have any reason to believe this isn't the original 307. I don't see any evidence of a Craigslist rebuild. You know, oh, I lost the receipts. All looks pretty factory. Oh yeah, there's a Tonawanda sticker still on her. Smallest battery cables I've ever seen. Pulsolator start. Oh my goodness. Wonder if she's got any juice left in her. Doubtful. Very. There's some juice in there. That's good. You can see the body guy actually took the fenders off before he sprayed on it. That's hard to find anymore. Let's see what we got under here. Yeah. Oh yeah, that looks just fine. She ain't jammed up. That's all I need. Well, off to a good start. I mean, everything is here that a guy needs, you know. You know, for the first time in a long time, feller might be eastbound and down by supper time. Except I need to go west, technically. But anyway, this isn't a guy's rig, so I gotta kind of do this differently today. I gotta, you know, maybe care on it a little bit. Normally I just twist them off and see if they'll fire, but you know, based on the humidity around, I just watched a mosquito pass out 15 minutes ago. It's like Florida. I ain't kidding you. I'm going to assume there's some surface rust in the cylinders there and whatnot. So I'm going to shoot some juice into there and I'll let that soak in while I'm changing the batteries out. Then we'll spin her over free a little bit and get things moving around. Maybe even build a little oil pressure. Then we'll see if it fires off. How's that sound? Good. Guy was just pondering on her and I didn't bring any hoses. And I'm positive I'm going to need to sort that out because these are the Maypop hoses. You know, they made those back in the 70s. Those aren't going to last at all. And I got some plugs and wires and we'll kind of do the typical ignition stuff. But first, let me get a wrench on her and, oh no, she's got a solid, oh, there you go. She spins. I thought she might have a fan clutch on her, but she's a Directo Drive 300. Engine turns, we're in business. Ah, get out of here. Where did you go? I just watched you fly in. Yep. Ha, come on now. Well, just sit and watch then. I don't care. Guy can tell she's been tinkered on. The number 1 cylinder on the old Lightning Whirler shooting off to the drinker side. Normally you want to line them right up with the number 1 cylinder, which on Chevys is up front here. But I'm going to rip all the lightning hoses off and just leave the one connected. Then when I throw the new wires on, I know right where to start and it'll be a piece of cake. Oh, they're just hermetically sealed on here. Get off of there! These look like yarn, don't they? Yep. Yep. Hip. Hipsa. Ouch. There's blood. Wow, you little. Why has this one got so much oil on it, do you think? I don't know. That didn't go as planned. I can't believe I'm already sweating. What is with the weather around here? We're not that far south. Well, maybe we are. East, north, I don't know. Well, I got the sparkulators held up in the NHRA 300 folder upper. And we've got some issues to work through. They're all really running rich, carbon fouled, with the exception of this one, which is really lean. So that's a very bad specific intake leak, but most likely a burnt valve, unfortunately. And this one is very oil sooted. Probably a stuck or bad ring, unfortunately. You get similar when you have valve seals go out, but you really need a consistent leak to be that gummed up. So, I mean, good news. We can get 6 of these cylinders just firing like crazy. This new water displacement on the 40th try has the Flexolite Juicelator nozzle on her. You just bend her in where you need her, and when a guy's doing any sort of fluid management, whether it's something like this or ATF or whatever you use, you got to remember that these blocks are slanted. You got to try to get her all the way in the back like that flue test, and that way she runs down across the pistons. That Harley just keeps getting some. Let's see a wheelie then. Well, I'm supposing on a guy should check on the dinosaurs before we get to going to town on her. It's got some in it. I mean, it's got some viscosity left, good enough to just test fire it, and then we'll change on it. Water pump's been changed on too, actually. It's just all flash rusted. She don't have any paint on her, easy way to tell that she's been swapped. Well, let's go throw a battery in it and spin this thing over and blow that WD-40 out. Okay, get that one. This is tangled up in this thing now. Wow, help me understand how this... Yeah. There's a very specific reason I chose this battery. And if you're a fan of the channel, you just said it out loud. She's got a go handle on her. Plus it says Super Start on it. That just gives me some confidence, you know. Well, there's that wire again, it's back. You gotta come up here now and then get on this side of it. Well, it's not fitting in here like it should. Yes. That seemed to do nothing. I think we're back. Let's see, the old fire test. You just got to breathe them in for a minute when you get a new battery on them. Whoa. Clearly I've got allergies today, goodness. We got new battery and a nose trumpet. Yeah. Well, let's lay her over and see if the starter works and how good of a spin we get out of her. Oh, guy's legs just... I'm stuck under the headlights. There we go. Guy's legs just doesn't fit without tilt. Oh, we got lights. Let's just check this right now. Nothing. Okay. She's cranking. We got plenty of crank. You probably can't see the fan up there whirling away, but we got plenty of crankage. Starter works. So let's put some new sparkulator and wires in her. Newsflash, Niagara Falls has been relocated. It's currently running down my back. Guy wants to run AC Delco plugs on a Chevy whenever possible. Otherwise it's like riding a horse with a shaved mane. It's just goofy. I run mine at 10 hundredths per 100 cubes, so I'm going to gap these out about just a tickle over 30. Yep. You can see where that juice shot out on the fender wells here and back in there, and that's why a guy tries to avoid using that ATF. Otherwise it just looks like a scene from Tales from the Crypt under the car, and you know, all over kind of this region. Guy's got to start thinking about a fuel plan here. Definitely going to fire it off a little jerry can I got and get her dialed in that way. The fuel gauge said half a tank, so I gave her the old jiggle jiggle shake jiggle. And sure enough, I can hear it sloshing. Of course, that gas is going to be like deck stain from the 80s. But I ain't going to make it 500 miles even on a boat tank. I mean, I'd be stopping every 80 miles or whatever. There's just math. I'd stop a lot, is what I'm saying. So I might have to just run 97 fuel filters, go dump some good gas into this thing and start mixing on it, and hopefully put enough premium in to just, you know, flush her out. Let's see what the lightning whirler has to say to us. Hello, what are you saying? Oh, this is saying, hey, I've been replaced not too long ago, Derek. This looks a little ragged. The points might even be okay. I got the ignition sticks on, the thunderstorm plugged in, and I got the engine rolled over just right to where if I turn the whirler here, we're going to see the points open and close, and we should hear and maybe even see the spark in there. You hear that? Shh, listen now, listen. So she's got spark, so I'm going to try to save money for a guy, and we'll leave the points. I'll just take my knife, scrape the end of that off, throw the cap back on, and then we'll just put new lightning hoses on it and see if we can get her to fire off that. Guy's going to probably end up with 1843657 on my tombstone. It's actually a pretty good idea. Somebody write that down. Longer-ish, medium longish, then less longer than medium. That's how a guy likes to do my hoses. How do you do yours? You should bloop that down in the comments. Just curious. Do you mark the cap or tear them all off? Do them one at a time? Or how do you guys do your wires? Now that that's done, we'll move on to fuel here. And I think we'll just cut a chunk of hose, run it straight into a jerry can out here. And I'm not even going to put a filter on it yet because I know that's good gas. And then we'll see if she fires off of that. And then we got to figure out this fuel tank. I don't have anything to drain it in. Wish I did. Maybe I can go get something. I don't know. Guy wanted to check on the fuel situation. So I snipped this off, and we had a geyser like Yosemite. And I took the filter and fitting out. We got fuel coming into here. So I'm about 87.96% positive the needle stuck. So I'm going to take my Tanya Harding and just persuade her back into spec on there. And we'll see if we could start just getting the squirter to work instead of dumping stuff down her. You know, a guy did bring a digital pump for just in the cases. I might run down to Wally World and just pick up another 5-gallon jug. Although there's probably more in it than that, but maybe I'll have to get 2. Dang it. Then I can, you know, pump it out into that and then refill her back up with the jugs that I just bought. Not a very cheap process, but that'll give us fresh gas from the get-go. Yeah, okay. Well, you know, I usually mix some 2-stroke oil in my gas when I'm trying to bottle feed them. That way, if she don't run on me, I didn't just spend an entire day washing the cylinders down. I'll be dipped if my left eye didn't hook onto this. I can't remember what my right eye was doing. But anyway, this is 40-1. She's already mixed up and she's got the high octanes and doesn't have the corn in it. So I'm going to try to feed this down the vent tube here. And then we'll just splash a little down the throat. That should be enough to start a fire. Well, a guy did decide to go on ahead and dump 58 pounds of dirt into his eyelids. But I did successfully get my I'm a Lone Wolf 6000 trigger hooked up. And these are handy. I'm getting a little nervous here because the last 69 Chevelle rescue I did, she just fought me to the last minute on the last day. But here we go, 17 years. Fired. I think she needs some more juice. Try to get more down the vent. This thing's gonna run. Bring the thunder. Come on. It's wanting to fire. What do you want? Less choke? Oh, I don't know. More choke? Surely you don't need more juice. Well, I'll give you some more then. We got stage 9 smokage in here. I mean, it's getting pretty bad. Come on now. What I'm going to be listening for when this fires off is we're going to have some valve train noise, and that's normal until these hydraulic lifters pump up. But we want to listen for any bottom end knocks. If it sounds like a B&E in progress, we got to shut her down. Maybe I flooded it now. Let me get some laughing gas. Come on now. Ouch! Don't do that. Well, you stubborn little devil. Squirter's starting to work. That's good news. Sometimes you just got to rebuild these. All right, come on now. Uh-oh, starter's not happy. Try the key. Yeah. Now I got to jump underneath and give the starter a tickle. Tickle 1, tickle 2, tickle 3, 4, 5. Let's go with 11. That seems about right. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. I don't hear any knocks. It's not knocking. Valve train is chattering, but that's normal. I'll be dipped. "17 years sitting here idling." Sitting here idling like I never took a nap in the first place. Little valve train chatter, but we'll work that out of it with an oil change and some run time. Sounds pretty good. She is aggressively smoky, but we hope to get those rings worked out. I think we'll wait and see what happens there. I'm just going to let it run for maybe another minute or two on this fresh gas, and then we'll shut her down and drain the oil out. Probably hard to see, but she's 48 gallons smoky in here. I gotta let her breathe a little bit. I want this to cool off too before I drop the oil and burn my face off. And I need to go get a belt, a hose, a couple gas jugs anyway. And then we'll move on to probably the transmission, see if the gear select works. I did check the fluid before I fired on it. You don't want to run these dry, you'll burn the pump out in a heartbeat. And then least important and last, we'll worry about the brakes. You don't really need those, they're just kind of convenient. What I could tell you about central Pennsylvania so far is there's a chainsaw store every 200 yards. Most businesses have wolf or bear in the name, and I just watched a guy order tacos on a four-wheeler through the drive-thru. So basically I'm liking it. I think I'm fitting right in. Let's get this oil changed. The music pipes must have been put on right before I was parked. They look pretty good. There's a Fram filter up there. This thing was cared for. There we go. Oh, she's still hot. That's fine. Upper ball joint is shot. Tie rods seem fine. Trailing arm's fine. Got a leak on the timing cover. Keep her eyeballs watching on that. Power steering leak. I mean, everything else is, you know, it's good enough. Oil looked pretty good. I didn't cut the filter open, but I didn't see any metal shavings or 10mm sockets. I'm going to throw in this Wotella 1540 diesel oil. This flat tappet cam, she's going to need all the dinosaurs and vitamins we can get, and this will do that. And I put a Wix filter in there. I want to get this thing fired up again and let her idle basically as long as that jug will let me over there. Get these head gaskets nice and hot again, see if we have any cooling issues. And then all the oil gaskets, see what's leaking. First I had to rig in a little fuel system here. Used a boat primer, draw up the fuel from the tank, and then I put this Edelbrock little clicky clacky in here. And then I wired her in, you know, purple wire for positive and then purple wire for negative, because that makes sense. And I want it to be running when I do this because this is the only battery I got, and I don't want to run this pump and run my battery down. So while it's running and pulling fresh fuel from this jug, I'll actually be drawing out the bad fuel and dumping it into that jug. And then we'll be able to put some fresh fuel back in her. And also while all this is going on, I'll double check the trans level there and maybe even put a little snake oil in, and then we'll test on the gears here in a little bit. By the way, this is a little bit of the gas that I drew out of the tank, and it is nasty. All right, let's get her fired off again. Runs really good, actually. And then get clicky-clack pump engaged. No idea if that fuel gauge works. It says she's got a tickle past half. Had to splice in the temp wire. Dummy light on the dash ain't on, but more accurately, I don't have any coolant spewing out. Cap feels okay. So I think that's fine. My bad gas jug is full, so I'm gonna turn that off, you know. And I'm almost out of good gasoline. So now I'm gonna scoot that to the side, go fill this with good gas, and then I'll get a filter in here and see if we can pull from the tank. The transmission showed a little bit low, but I had her on an incline, so it's probably just about right. But I'm gonna put just a skosh of this in there anyway and rebuild the transmission since we got so far to go. Keeps sounding better and better. Radiator's at 190. Thermostat's open. 188, 189. So it's cooling, and I ran her down all the cylinders. All 8 are banging away in there. So now I think I'm gonna tune up the carburetor a little bit. We know from reading the plugs earlier she was running really rich, and well, basically my eyes are on fire, so I can confirm that. These Chevelles could be a pain in the tail to put fuel in, unless you're at the pump with the old nozzleator. I got a funnel in here, but I just ain't got the angle I need. So I screwed this hose on my gas can here. This will work just fine, and then I'll convert it to an upper radiator hose here in a minute. Some folks say I'm a little bit old school. I'm gonna tune on her by ear, and then if it don't sound right to me, I'll hook the vacuum gauge up after that. Count my turns here and we'll bring her in the other side. I got a vacuum leak, too many turns. Let me sniff around for a vacuum leak and then we'll try her again. Well, I found it. It was a vacuum line snipping up to the old air purifier disc, and I threw in a 5/32 Allen key and shut that right down. So let's try her again. So the left screw originally must have been 5-6 turns out, and the right side screw was only 1 turn. So that's why the engine was doing this, and also had fouled plugs. So I twist on the key now. It should run good. Yeah, 1,000 times better. I'll be dipped. Yeah, see, now I got to bring that idle back down. I'm not even going to put the vacuum gauge on it. I know that's right. Some of that smoke earlier was from that pre-mixed fuel I was dumping down her, but not all of it. And she's still sitting back there smoking, so I'm going to give her an Italian tune-up, dump a couple cans of barium and B12 down her. This stuff's great. Cleans up the valves, the combustion chamber, and I've even had it free up sticky rings, so I just like dumping her right down the throat. I wanted to move down south, but it's so hot. It's like breathing fire in. You know, I wonder if a guy can just shoot the back end up on jack stands and then we'll just twist her down into a gear and see if the transmission turns the tires. What have we got here for a flavor? Drive low. So that's a Powerglide, 2-speed. Okay, I'll do that. Let's do that. Oh, every time my leg just gets bound up in here. Oh, here we go. Battery cable loose. Oh, I think I'm gonna skip getting in this time. Battery cable torqued. Here we go. Different approach. Reverse. I hear stuff moving and it's just not sounding very hot. Yikes. Drive. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna let her sit like that, do its thing. She's got an open diff on her. Well, it's finally that time. Brake check. I got like 9%. Great. You hear any fluid shooting out? Oh, that'll do her. At least there's something in the front. Been in this position 100 times. I'm just going to drop some juice in there. I really should bleed the brakes. So I'm going to do the right thing and not do that. And here's why. I'm just going to strip the bleeders off, and then I'm doing wheel cylinders. In the wheel cylinders, I'm going to snap the brake lines off because those are rusted. Then I'm patching the brake lines to the center line, and if I'm lucky, that T-junction won't be rotten. So I'm just gonna have to take what I can get and go with it. She's topped off. Let's see what we got. Yes. Hey, it's kind of-ish working. That's fine. Front brakes do 70% of the stopping anyway. Well, I think a guy's going to go ahead and take his gas funnel and turn it into an upper rad hose now. It's just easier to do it here than on the side of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Upper's on. I went ahead and replaced that as well. And then I replaced that belt while I was in there. And then I also worked on that water pump a little bit, and the snout's got some wobble in her, but it's not weeping out of that hole yet. So I'm just going to run that one. I think this is pretty much buttoned down. I'll throw an air cleaner on it last minute, but we're good here. We got about 49% brakes. It's shifting into gears, so I think it's time to turn the wheel bearings. Learned my lesson on that a couple times, and those are not fun to do on the side of the road. And it seems like with these A bodies, you go through the bearings really fast and then you're into the spindle. Then you're doing a whole spindle replacement, and that's no good. So I'm going to bring her up and we'll just pop all this off quick and inspect them and maybe repack them quick. Hopefully they're good, because I don't have any bearings with me, and well, it's getting pretty late. I think the parts store has been long closed. Well, the good news is I can tell someone's been in here before, because she's just beat like a cabin screen door. I don't have any more dust caps, so I gotta just take all this off. Come on now. Let's go this way. There you go. Throw these on her and just give her a twist. There. Lots of grease. Cotter pin looks pretty new. Cotter key, cotter keyway, nail. I don't know. I think I'm getting tired. What do you call them? Put it down there in the comments. Straighten me out. I gotta get this out of here without snapping it, because I don't got one of these either. Should probably get some rags ready or something, but I won't. There is a lot of dirt and stuff in here. I think we can clean this up and improve on it a little bit. These look brand new. Oh, be dipped. Oh, that explains it. I just can't believe it. Well, I guess I got to. I'm looking right at it. Guys having some pretty good luck here. You might not be able to see it, but they're still cross-hatching in that race. So that's brand new. And then I figured it out here. This wheel cylinder looks new. So someone put that in, probably brake shoes. And while you're in, you might as well put the bearings on. So this is all gooder. But I'm gonna clean these bearings up. I mean, that's pretty grody. Clean them up and repack them and just reassemble it. And I'll do that on the other side. I'm assuming they did the other side as well, so that's great news. Guy likes to clean on these till I can see the rollers on the top and bottom. Not sure what brand this is. It says made in USA though, so I'm gonna run them. Then I'll just pack some new grease in it. We got fireworks. My phone died about 90 years ago. I'm not even sure what time it is, to be honest, but it's late and I'm running out of steam, and it's time for a cold snack or two. Tomorrow I think we're just gonna do a couple of quick, lookovers, and it's test drive time. Okay, see you in the morning. I just bring it back? I think it's gonna be too heavy. Sure, why not? 8 million early o'clock. I don't like it, but it's just the way she is. Did a few things off camera. Got the air cleaner back on, put together the back seat, checked out the U-joint, packed up a few things. Cleaned, because it escalated quickly last night apparently. But I think she's ready. I'm gonna fire it up and just send her down to the fuel station. See if we can get some fresh gas in this thing, and if it's running good and she kind of stops, I think we'll go wash her down. And then I plan on trying to grab Robert, the previous owner, and maybe we'll go for a spin together and he could tell us about the history on the old girl, because there's a lot of it. So let's see if we can make it down the hill here. This headliner is in really good shape. First drive, 17 years. Well, I guess we should see if it starts this morning. Like it's brand new. Choke's on, works great. I'm gonna let it warm up for just a minute. We got domage. All right, first drive in 17 years. Oh, she wants to go right now. It stops. I think I'm gonna have to bring that idle down just to tickle. heard thumps or banging. Ooh, the brakes just, yeah, they're not very good. The engine does have a little shake in her, almost like she's banging on 7. But I mean, that's, you know, 80-some% good. It might come around as she warms up. Steering wheel's crooked, but she drives straight. We got blinkerage? Oh yeah, I got a left. We got a right, at least out here. I don't know if this fuel is non-ethanol. I just hope it is. The guy did adjust the idle down just a little bit. It's better. I found a custom car wash detailing center about 2 miles away. I think that's one of them fancy units that just kind of pulls the car through. I'm sure all these seals are fine and it won't leak at all. So let's go do that. It's definitely got a mess. Maybe it'll come back out of it. Probably not. I've only seen these on the movies. I really don't know what to do at this point. You just keep driving? Hello! Help! Oh, there we go.
Hi. What did you get done on the inside?
Nothing. I don't have carpet or seats.
Okay, you just want the outside then?
Yeah.
Just the $15 one sound okay?
Sure.
Alrighty.
Now what happens? We didn't get much of a test in to see if she'd, you know, overheat. So if we're gonna do that, let's do it in a car wash. You know, that seems fine. 85 degrees in here. And I wore a long sleeved black shirt. Oh, this is gonna take too long. Let's go. Let's get going. Nope, I don't need bug spray. Just, what is he squirting on the wheel? I just want the soap. Give me the soap thing. I don't think I'm gonna make it until the end. Good time to check the wipers, I guess. Oh, they work. I just can't believe it. Even the fast speed works. I mean, the blades are shot, but you don't really need them. I think the roller machine's busted. Okay, take 2. Well, just hook a chain on it, drag it through. What do we got here? Triple foam. Okay, that seems like a necessity. Not a lot of foamage though. Hey, that's not a lot of foam for 15 bucks. I don't know what this is. Oh, we got leakage on the door. We got some sort of squid thing going on the roof. That seems to do nothing. I know what these things are. Mirror benders. Okay, we got disco lights, soap balls. That seems unnecessary. I want $2 back. I don't need this. Ooh, Rain-X. Yeah, dump that on. I need that. You know, it's not leaking that bad at all. I got a little bit of leak right here. That one looks, I don't know. Let's say it doesn't leak. What's going on, big boy? How you doing? Good. Checked out of the motel. Yeah. Changed my shirt and I picked the one without wrinkles. And I think you know, we're gonna go for it. Easy. There we go. Yeah. All right, guys, so I'm here with Bob, who's actually now the previous owner, but his family had the car for many, many years. And what's it like seeing the car all cleaned up? And
it's great. It looks wonderful. I'm glad it's going to a good place, and couldn't have asked for anything better. It's a good situation.
Yeah, that's great. We were just talking about the paint on this thing. A family friend did the bodywork and the paint, and it's really sharp, cleaned up in the sun. It's I would say flawless. I mean, it's in really good shape all the way around. He did a great job on the quarters. Yeah, and looks really nice, cleaned up. So I think you want to go for a spin, drive it around? Okay.
That sounds wonderful.
All right, you're driving. I'll ride shotgun.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, the pedal feels tight, but you really gotta put your back in it to
get it to
get it to
stop.
stop. And I think you had the carpet in the trunk.
Yeah, he has it. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's in good shape too. That's why I kept it. I kept that at my house so it would stay in good shape.
I should have maybe put that in. The floor got to about 180 degrees when I was
driving around.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm glad that this is wonderful to see it running. You know, I was concerned, you know, what I could do with it or what to do with it, and I needed to do something. So
yeah, I think Ken will take really good care of it.
yeah, and that'll be great. I know for my family, just to have it taken care of and to know it's going somewhere and being used, and that's important.
So your grandmother bought this in '74?
I believe it was 74. Yeah, she bought it from a neighbor up the street who was getting a new car, and she got this, and she had it really at about 95. I think she passed away, and so she had it all those years and never drove it much. You know, took it pretty much to church and the store, and it was at her house pretty much. So when she passed away, my dad wanted it to go to someone in the family, and so I took it thinking he would enjoy having it. You know, I pretty much got it running. Thought he would want to run it.
Yeah.
But after I had everything done, he really never seemed that interested. And then once he had a stroke, and after that, that's when I was too busy. I didn't have time. Kids and family and taking care of things. It was just I didn't have time to take care of it.
So then it sat since about '03, you figure, somewhere around there?
It did. When the inspection ran out, I never had it out again.
Oh, it runs pretty good though.
It runs great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So 78,000 miles, that must be original mileage.
They are original, yeah. They are original.
That just shows these salt states, even low mileage, you get rust and rot. And
You do.
Have to do body work.
And she had a garage, but it was too small, and she just didn't use it. Sat out. She left it out by the house, and so
okay.
It did not get stored in the garage. If it had gone into her garage, I think it would have been in much better shape.
See a car this old only have 2 owners and have original mileage like 78,000. That's great.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun driving this around.
I'm sure it'll be good for him. He'll have fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all the hospitality and letting me work in the garage and all the help you've done.
I'm happy to see you do it, and I'm happy to see it running. That's great.
Yeah.
So this, like I said before, this just couldn't have worked out any better.
All of the parts that I pre-ordered about 2 weeks before I came up here, you know, trying to plan ahead, they went ahead and sent them to the wrong store. So I've kind of just been piecing stuff together. And I went to every auto store in this town, and no one has a brake master or a fuel pump, which are 2 things I'd really like to carry with me on this trip. I did pick up an extra water pump though, but the terrain out here, it goes up and then it comes back down and it keeps doing this thing. And brakes, I'd like to have some parts with me. We're just gonna keep stopping here and there, see if we can find them. I think I'm gonna do this 100-mile blast at a time. We'll go about 100 miles, pop off the tank, check everything over, check the lug nuts, things like that. And you know, jumping on the highway up here, we're gonna find out real quick what this fuel tank's looking like. We might take a exit here in just a few miles, see how much junk it's pulling into that filter. Better get one of these out. Bourbon flavor. It'll rejuvenate as we drive. All right, here we go. Luckily, for some reason in the state, the speed limit's 55 everywhere. I don't really get that. It's the same as 1952. It's doing fine. 55. I think we're probably going to stay right around 55 for a while. It's just crazy to me that you could take a car that's been sitting for 17 years, that's older than me, tune it up and just throw her back on the highway and start a 500-mile trip with 23% confidence. I got some sort of a metallic clanking, shaking going on back here. I think what I'm going to do is just convince myself that it's stuff in the trunk and just forget about it. I don't like traveling this far without some gauges, but it's not my rig to cobble stuff in here. I don't have a temp gauge, but I can tell it's getting hot because I'm smelling burning oils and gunk that I've never smelled before. Climbing this huge hill coming out of town. We're going to be coming down the other side. I'll throw her up at neutral and let her breathe a little bit. Well, guys, about 75 miles in, filled up. If I'm doing the math right, which probably not, I'm getting about 12.7 miles to the gallon. Torque down all the lug nuts again, and then I'm checking hub temperature, which always changes with your speed and ambient temperature, but what you're looking for is one that's significantly higher than the other one. Check the oil, that's fine. I don't see anything new leaking out of here. The fuel filter looks fantastic. Did not expect that. I bought about 94 million of these because I thought I was just going to be swapping them out or putting a couple in mine, but so far that looks fine. I'm going to run that. Radiator right now is 146. We're in good shape. Gonna load everything back up, and I don't know, now that I know my fuel mileage, maybe we'll try actual 100 miles, 125. This is all I got in the trunk, just a bunch of junk. Miscellaneous parts, all in one toolkit, little jack that barely works, some gasoline, and that's it. Let's get rolling. Someone said do the do, so I did about 7 times, and now my teeth are just floating, you know what I mean? And then I suppose we should probably, you know, check the car, and kind of running a little rough here actually, and get some fuel. Yeah, it's running rough. Few things here. Fuel filter looks fine. I thought maybe this was plugging up, and it's not vapor locking, so I'm willing to bet that's probably the points. So I took my file on the old Leatherman and replaced the points, you know. Then I'll file up the lightning rotor, jam that all back together, and you can take the flat in there and just kind of scrape out the lightning cap. But more importantly, I found a cooler, some ice, and some Arizona sweet tea. There's just something about that, and some Big League bubblegum chew. So I'm set. I have no idea where I'm at, but I am more than halfway there, which is great. Fuel prices are nice. Goodness. Load her up, button her down again, and hit the road. fuel mileage is just getting better, and the smoking is basically gone away. I think when I get there and get it all cooled down, I'm going to pull these two plugs again and just read on them, see if I got the same results as we did last time we looked at them. So anyway, I'm going to button all this back up and just get on the road. Guy stopped to get some fuel and stretched the Honda Maximuses out. Thought my rear end was falling asleep on me, and maybe I was getting sweaty, but turns out my soft cooler is a little too soft, and it leaked 914 gallons of water on me over the last 2 hours, so I'm just soaked from the waist down. That's fine. Topped her off on gas here. 7 gallons is all. She's just sipping on the fuel. A lot of people dog on these 307s, but you got to remember they got a whole host of engines if you want to go fast and recycle tires. This little guy is doing exactly what it's supposed to. Be reliable and just sip on the fuel. And it's doing just fine. I'm going to pull ahead and just check everything out. Check the oil again. Check that fuel filter. Check on the hubs. I think we got about 50 miles left is all, which is great, because I think we're going to get there before the sun shuts down, which is great. I didn't really do the old light checkaroonie. I don't even really have a destination picked out yet. I just typed in Florence.
In a quarter of a mile.
When I get there, I guess I'll figure out a motel or whatever. But 45 miles? That ain't bad. This left arm is just feeling like one of those turkey fires when people try to fry them. Alright, one more little blast, we'll be there. I'm mad at you, cooler. Leaking water. Here we go now. Let's go. Well, I made it. Supposedly I'm somewhere in the little town that I'm supposed to be in, but I'll figure that out later. No tickets, no major breakdowns, no issues at all, really. That missus back, that was always there, and a little fan belt squeak, but she just wore in. That's an easy fix. Man, it really helps starting out with a car that just isn't rotted to the ground entirely, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna find a Motel 3.5 somewhere around here, and cheeseburger and a wobble pop sounds really good right now. Big thank you to Ken for letting me be a part of your adventure, and well, you trusted me with your really nice car. That's just mind-boggling. And also a big thank you to Robert and his family. Some of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life, and it's been a blast the last few days. Tears of joy, laughter, even snuck in a hug there with Mom. It's been a lot of fun, and this is exactly what fuels me to keep doing it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the adventure very much. If you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate that, and jam on that little bell thing down there too, would you? See you next time. Sorry, Ken. tires are these? Stay long time? Get out of here, smoke.